Ladies and gentlemen, breaking news. Just when we thought that all is good from now on, the Iranians and Americans have just exchanged fire at a very serious level, and this could set to derail the process of peace that could prevail in the Middle East. So I'll give you the details and give you the implications at the end of the video. So the situation is a fragile one. The Americans and Iranians have exchanged fire and oil prices have started to climb up again. Just when we thought that oil is okay, the S&P 500 has a slight dip. And let's see what did they do to trigger off such a reaction. So the sequence went like this. First, the Americans struck an Iranian oil tanker, allegedly trying to break the blockade. And then the Iranians retaliated. The US then did what they call self-defense strike, and they also struck the Iranian ground targets as well. And after all this is over, the American president then said, "Oh, this is just a love tap. So the ceasefire is still on. This is not a ceasefire. This is a severe exchange of fire." So there was a Iranian tanker that triggered off this whole thing. The Iranian tanker was trying to break the American blockade, and they were being intercepted and fired upon by the Americans. The Iranians then were very unhappy and they reacted. So the Iranians reacted by attacking US destroyers with missiles, drones, and fast attack boats in a coordinated assault. Now, fortunately, the three destroyers that were being attacked did not suffer any damage, and the attackers allegedly were being blown away. So the Iranians claiming that this is a justified response to American aggression, and this is not an unprovoked attack. You American did it first, so we reacted. Now, interestingly, Donald Trump then said that no, this is not a breaking of the ceasefire. The ceasefire is still on. After all the fire, you call it still a ceasefire. So he's just a love tap, right? Like it's like a father teaching a young son. So it's just a love tap. And he said that we could get a lot more violent if you were to continue this way. So I'm just very concerned that all this minor love tap cumulatively will become something serious. The Americans attacked quite a lot of the ground targets in Iran, and air defenses were being triggered. And it was really almost like a big attack on Tehran all over again. So this is no longer a small love tap. Of course, maybe to Donald Trump it is, but this is how he manages the situation, and he manages it really well. Let's not forget that there was a one-page peace memorandum that Donald Trump has sent to the Iranians, and the Iranians are still reviewing it. Now, I think the real issue is not so much what is in the content of the memorandum, but the spirit between both parties is a serious spirit of mistrust. So this mistrust will actually make the peace agreement really very difficult. So I think that this is something possibly could derail the peace process. We don't know, but certainly this is something doesn't look good, and it could cause the whole hopeful peace process to be derailed. Interestingly, the Iranians have set up a new shipping authority, and this is basically something like our PSA in Singapore and so on. Basically, you create this proper shipping authority is to formalize the process of approving, regulating, and potentially charging a fee for all vessels throughout the straits. And this matters because the freedom of navigation is going to be over. So I don't think Donald Trump likes that, but let's see what he will be able to unhook the Iranians from this regime. Well, the oil prices did go up, but it's not a massive up. Now, everybody recognized that, hey, this is not good news, but I think there's still a good chance that the peace process will continue because at every step they are all getting closer. So they are prepared to look past all these minor skirmishes. And my guess is that this stock market very strong sense of calm and very strong sense of steadiness is a good sign. The S&P 500 went down by a little, point something percent, and there is a general belief that these are really what Donald Trump say is just a love tap, right? So I don't think the market thinks that this is a big thing. I don't know whether this is just being complacent or this is just representing strength of tranquility and calm. But the strength of the economy still stands in terms of the AI boom, and the earnings are still going strong. This is a very powerful earnings season, and that's why the whole stock market continue to go up. So we now have two conflicting forces. One of them is the tension in Middle East, which, to be frank, is looking possibly better until this love tap is happening. And the other one is the AI boom. So we don't know which one will win. Looks like AI is winning big time right now. So let's monitor closely, especially hitting a subscribe and a like so that you don't miss any of this breaking news. Meanwhile, let's not forget that oil prices remain high and inflation is burning throughout the economy. Shipping cost is also high. So several shipping logistic company are warning that fuel related costs are nearly double and they're going to pass it down to the downstream to consumer prices eventually. So I think there could be a reaction by central bankers, and that is the big if, because if the interest rate were to go up, then the stock market will have a negative reaction for 100%. Let's also not forget that 20,000 crew members in the Persian Gulf is stuck there for 2 over months already. 1,500 ships affected. Every day of waiting, someone will possibly cannot tahan and try to make a break for it, and then the Iranians are forced to react, or the Americans are forced to react, and then there could be some reaction in a negative way. So this is something that they can't wait forever, right? The situation is extremely fragile. I thought that they're going to have a very fast peace process. I even thought that the Iranians will react very positively today. But looks like this exchange of fire really represents a super mistrust and distrust towards each other. So I'm not too sure now whether they can head towards peace soon. But the direction is correct. Both of them are trying to meet midway. So remember to watch this channel very closely. I'll keep you updated. Things are not looking good for now, but I think the general direction is still correct. So I don't think that this will break out in a massive all-out battle again. Both sides doesn't want it. Something good about the Iranians and the Americans is they know how to reciprocate fire and attack in a measured way. So let's see what will unfold, and I'll keep you guys informed in live stream or in my YouTube shorts. Meanwhile, I'd like to give an announcement. On the 23rd of May, CIMB Bank is going to organize a big financial event at Suntec City, and I'm invited to speak there. I'll be announcing the strategy of 10M65, which is largely a CPF-driven strategy. And in this talk, I will share with everybody how the journey to a $10 million CPF investment strategy would look like. And you'll be pretty excited about it. And you'll also be able to interact with me in breakout rooms. And there's going to be a lot more speakers for this event. So please join this event. This is the QR code. And remember to key in the promo code of LCC100 at the checkout section so that you don't need to pay the ticket fees. So this event will be completely free, only for 165 community members. So don't miss this event. I would love to interact with you. I would love to get to know you, shake hands with you, and we get to know each other, and let's all learn together how we can achieve an insane amount of CPF retirement when you retire at 65 years old.